Good evening. Let me move this so you can see my face. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special Thursday night, 9 p.m. Thanksgiving Day special here on TitleTown Throwdown on all SFBNRI platforms. I'm Nick LeBlanc. Normally, I join you here at 7 p.m., but tonight we got a special thing in the things of Thanksgiving, which has about 3 hours left until around 6 o'clock tomorrow. We're ready to rip each other's throats out to get the newest things for Christmas. So go figure. Anyway, I thought tonight though we go a completely different route, and we say thanks to the true athletes of all Boston sports. Now, a couple things I do want to get to really fast. So let me get to that very quickly. A couple things related to both the Celtics and the Bruins. And we'll talk about the Patriots later. We are going to preview the Patriots and see what's wrong with them because they're in desperation mode. Okay, let's not sugarcoat that. The Patriots are in desperation mode. But anyway, we'll talk about the Patriots later on in the program. But just very quick Celtics and Bruins headlines. Celtics and Jason Tatum, they have officially agreed to that new max contract that will go into effect after this upcoming season. So Jason Tatum locked up. He is a Celtic for a while. In other Celtic news, the Celtics were able to complete a sign and trade for Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward is now officially a member of the Charlotte Hornets. After last Thursday, he opted out of his contract with the Celtics. We broke down that in his career with the Celtics. And part of that sign trade, the Celtics got a trade exemption for Gordon Hayward. I'm still not completely sure what the trade exemption means. I'm still figuring that out as we go. So hopefully I'll have more information on that for you next week. And quickly on the Bruins, nothing too drastic. Jake DeBrusk is officially back with the Boston Bruins for 2 years. So DeBrusk isn't going anywhere. And contract talks with Chara are still ongoing, but they're at a standstill. But anyway, I want us to take a little trip down memory lane here. All right, and I want us all to look at one of the greatest, if not of the greatest members here of all Boston sports, starting with the Red Sox, and obviously this man right here, Ted Williams. Ted Williams, a Boston Red Sox from 1939 to 1942, and then again to finish out his major league career from 46 to 60. He missed time due to his time in serving our country in the military. Okay, and Ted Williams, just one of the more iconic people here in Boston. He has the longest home run at Fenway Park history, which is why there's a red seat out in the bleacher seats for him. He was just a fan favorite really out there. And look, the guy, he still holds the major league record for the highest batting average in the season at 406. All right. He is in the Red Sox Hall of Fame. He has a tunnel named after him in Boston called the Ted Williams Tunnel. I'm sure you've all have driven through it at one point in your life or another. Just all these great and happy times. And everything that Ted Williams really brought to not only the Red Sox organization, but to really baseball, the time in which baseball is really needed. Because, look, Ted Williams, he went to go serve his country and helped us. And we all know MLB had those replacement players. There was a women's league out there for a while. That'd be one thing to bring back too. But just an all-around, baseball was really needed back in the 40s, especially in 1946, after the war had ended. America was hurting. The world was hurting. Baseball's right there to really help uplift people once again and give people something to cheer about. And Ted Williams, he definitely gave people here in Boston something to cheer about. It's unfortunate that man never won a World Series. So Ted Williams, Godspeed. Wherever you are, thank you so much for everything that you have done here for the city of Boston. The next man I want to get to, this guy right here, Jim Rice. Jim Rice, he spent his entire career with the Boston Red Sox from 1974 to 1989. I have met Jim Rice in person. Very, very nice gentleman. He is. I used to work at a golf course actually, and he would golf there every morning. Nicest guy, you know. If you're in the middle of the fairway, he'll just try to hit around you. Be like, oh, work. I don't mind it. That's cool. Just a very good, down to earth type of guy, and that's what Jim Rice was. He was a great player, great person, a fantastic personality. Fantastic personality. You can never go wrong with him. So that's why we have who we got in him. All right. The next athlete I want to go to, but before I show you him, here is actually a little clip of this infamous home run.
Only Clay Kirby and Don Gullett have yet to be used. As far as Cincinnati.
My apologies here. And here it is, folks.
There it goes, a long drive. If it stays fair, home run.
There it is, everyone. The most famous home run in all of Boston sports. Ladies and gentlemen, this still iconic picture right here. Mr. Carlton Fisk, a Boston Red Sox in 1969, and then again from 1971 to 1980 until he went on to finish his career with the Chicago White Sox. But look at that photo. Iconic photo, him jumping for joy. And look, Carlton Fisk is part of something that could have been for the Boston Red Sox. Okay, they had momentum. Look, Cincinnati, they had a chance to win that game back in 1976. They did not. The Red Sox ended up winning that game on a walk-off late in the game in extra innings. I believe it was in the 12th inning, if my memory serves correctly. But all in all, just a fantastic hit, fantastic home run. And that gave the Red Sox a lot of life heading into Game 7 of that series. Unfortunately, we know what happened after that. We all know what happened after that. We all know what happened after that moment. But anyway, though, moving on to the next man. And believe me, I think we all know who this guy is. We all know who Pedro Martinez is. Boston Red Sox career spanning from 1998 to 2004. He was part of the team that broke the curse and gave Boston a championship once again here for the city of Boston. And it really started to become a stretch of championships that not only Boston would see for a good 2-decade run. I mean, what other sports city had that? What other sports city has had that type of run? And Pedro Martinez, this man right here, he will take full responsibility for him saying, I am the man who brought David Ortiz here. I am the man who brought Big Papi here to Boston. And yes, Pedro, we know. But you had an outstanding career yourself. I believe it was a 6-7-time All-Star, multiple Cy Young Award winners, only won the World Series at one time with the Red Sox, but hey, Pedro is a fan favorite. He started the All-Star game at Fenway Park back in 1999. I believe he pitched 2 innings, struck out 4 batters. And that had to be a special moment for Pedro. Pitching in a team that he always had life for, he always loved. And something for Pedro, it's just something about Pedro Martinez that you always loved about him. He just had an upbeat tempo type of guy. He never sugarcoated things. Pedro Martinez is hands down, one of my favorite pitchers that I have seen in my life. And I'm pretty sure he's yours too. Okay. Another fan favorite. Another fan favorite here. The last Red Sox player that we're going to get to before we go to a bit of a break. Right here. I'm pretty sure you all know who this man is. This is a man who needs zero introduction. Big Papi David Ortiz, his Red Sox career spanning from 2003 to 2016. We know how that season ended for him, but Big Papi, David Ortiz, and just what a legend Big Papi was. A personal favorite of mine, my all-time favorite MLB player. He always will be, and he always came up huge for the Red Sox. Now, in 2003, he didn't get a chance about mid-season, courtesy of Pedro, and also because I'm pretty sure Lyle Overbay was the guy they had. He couldn't hit, and he couldn't hit, and I believe the first baseman they had Giambi. So Giambi or Overbay that they had, one of the two. I can't remember off the top of my head. But one of them wasn't performing. No, Shea Hillenbrand. That is who it was. Shea Hillenbrand, he got shipped out of town. Jason Giambi, Jeremy Giambi. My memory is bad. Sorry. Too many all-time greats to remember in one setting right now. But here was a guy who finally got an opportunity, and he did not waste it. And in 2004, his name, his stature really came up huge. We all know the home run that he hit in the 12th inning of Game 4 of the 2004 ALCS against the New York Yankees, and history was made from there. Big Papi, after that, he only went on to set the Red Sox home run record with 56 and 06. Won two more World Series, a 10-time All-Star. I think he did pretty good. David Ortiz is up for the Hall of Fame in 2022. And look, there's only one designated hitter right now in the Hall of Fame, and that name is Edgar Martinez. So that's that. So, but Martinez, it took him about 3 or 4 times before he finally got in. What about David Ortiz? Will he get in first ballot, or could Ortiz be a second ballot guy? We don't know. I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer in my mind. Whether he's first ballot or not, David Ortiz, you will be in Cooperstown. You will be in Cooperstown. I will guarantee that. Whether that's first ballot, second ballot, hopefully no later than the third ballot. Hopefully no later. If you're any later than a third ballot Hall of Fame, I want to know what some of these baseball writers are smoking. Really want to know what they're smoking. All right, we're going to take a bit of a break here. When we come back, there's more greats than just the Red Sox greats. We're going to see what Celtic greats are out there as well. You're watching TitleTown Throwdown here on all SFB and RI platforms. All right, welcome back to TitleTown Throwdown. I do apologize for that little blip, and that's all right. We don't have the same ads that we normally do here, but that is okay. So I want to apologize. I did not get the opportunity to upload these pictures, but we're still going to talk about these guys. We're going to transition now over to the Boston Celtics right now. And I want to talk about one man, one staple here in Boston. We all know and we all love him. Bill Russell, a Boston Celtic, his entire career, 1956 to 1969, a 14-year career that spanned him, 11 NBA titles. The man has a ring for every finger and he has 2 on his thumb. He has 2 on his thumb, for God's sakes. Bill Russell, classic player, all-star every year he played, almost an NBA champion in every single season he played. He was part of that Celtics run of like 10 years in which they won just championship after championship after championship after championship. Bill Russell's on that team. Bill Russell was the leader. And look, when I first got into the Celtics, I immediately looked at the number 6, Bill Russell, right there. I've seen highlights of him. Great player, great all-around type of guy. And one thing, too, is say Michael Jordan is the all-time GOAT of the NBA. He has 6 titles. He put up all these numbers. Fair. Here's the thing, though. Yeah, Jordan has 6 rings. Russell has 11. And I'm pretty sure Russell went 11 for 11 in NBA final appearances. Now, granted, MJ went 6 for 6, and all those LeBron people. LeBron has 4 titles and what? 10 tries? 10 of them? 10, 11 tries? So he's been to as many NBA Finals appearances as Bill Russell, but he has not won the same amount of rings as Michael Jordan. But no one's ever going to catch Bill Russell with 11 rings. No one's ever going to catch him with 11 rings. The dude, you say Bill Russell stinks, all he has to do is just flash his rings in your face. It's all he has to do. It's legitimately, all he needs to do is just flash the rings in your face. All right, another Boston legend here that I have, Larry Bird. Okay, Larry Bird, we're all familiar with him. His now time with the Indiana Pacers. But here as a Celtic, though, again, all-star, an NBA champion in 1986, his only title of his career, which is sad because Larry Bird is such an iconic player here in Boston. His numbers up in the rafters as well with Bill Russell. Basically, almost anyone who's played for the Boston Celtics, they have their name up there. Let's be realistic. Anyone who's ever played for the Boston Celtics, they theoretically have the number up there. Paul Pierce has a number up there. Kevin Garnett's going to get his number retired up there too. So, yeah. So there you go. Now, almost everyone who plays for the Boston Celtics normally gets their number retired. But no, Larry Bird, though, his career expanding all throughout, spent his entire career with the Boston Celtics again, back in the 1940s, 50s. Really around those times is when in which it wasn't really rare in which a player spent his entire career with one organization. It was never rare. You know, now it's rare. Now you really get the rare people like, okay, now this guy has spent his entire career with this one team. Derek Jeter, for example, spent his entire career with the New York Yankees. No one was surprised then. Maybe towards the end of his career, yeah, or how long he lasted. Martin Rivera spent his entire career with the New York Yankees. A lot of people thought Tom Brady was going to spend his career with the New England Patriots. Obviously, we know that's not going to happen. And don't worry, Pat fans, if you're still Brady hungry, we got Brady stuff for you, but just get him in here. Larry Bird, though, he's one of those all-time iconic Celtic players. All right, this man, Paul Pierce, got drafted by the Celtics in 1998. Spent his entire career with the Celtics up until 2013. After that, we know he went to the Nets. Then he spent a couple seasons with the Wizards. I believe he went to the Clippers for a season with Doc Rivers. And yeah, we know the story from there. Anyway, Paul Pierce, the truth, he always put his heart, sweat, and tears out on the floor. Always loved being with his teammates. Always wanted to win. He was an NBA champion. He led the big three of him, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, and they just led that team all the way to the NBA championship in 2008. That was just a special team, a special group, but also Doc Rivers. He was a special head coach, and Paul Pierce recognized that too. And look, Doc Rivers, great coach here with the Celtics. He was here for a very long time until the Celtics also gave him the opportunity to pursue other venues. He did. He's now in Philadelphia. Let that sink in. He went to the Clippers. Could have easily went to the Lakers, but he went to the Clippers. Spent 7 seasons with the Clippers, and then the Clippers like, okay, get out of here. And now he's with the 76ers. Let that pill swallow in your guts to Celtic fans, all right? But Paul Pierce, again, one of the all-time great Celtics here, not only in the NBA, but in Boston. And again, like probably about 25% of the players who's ever played for the Boston Celtics have their number retired up on the rafters. By this point, the Celtics were running out of numbers. At some point, you got to start to reuse some numbers. Probably it's going to get to that point. All right, another special guy here. Last Celtic one before we take another quick break. Tommy Heinsohn, Mr. Celtic, a player from 1956 to 65. He's won multiple NBA titles. Tommy Heinsohn, he was a coach from 1969 to 1978. Again, won a title as a coach. And then he was broadcasting Celtic games from 1990 all the way through this year up to the pause. And also when NBC Sports Boston was allowed to broadcast some Celtic playoff games, Tommy Heinsohn brought you those games as well with Mike Gorman. Now, we haven't seen much of Tommy Heinsohn in recent years because of his age and health issues. That's why we only saw Tommy during home games. We have Brian Scalabrine doing the away games. Tommy Heinsohn, though, just a figure here for the Celtics, spent his entire life here in Boston. Now, it was all over the place. Great, genuine type of guy, lovable, and unfortunately, we lost Tommy Heinsohn earlier this month at the age of 86. Mr. Celtic Tommy Heinsohn is on this list of greatest Celtics of all time. All right, we're going to take another break here, but coming right out of the break, we're going to look at some Boston Bruin greats. Yeah, some Bruins greats, guys who are still here, great players, one guy who we're hoping will still be here, and then a couple of legends. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to TitleTown Throwdown here on all SFBNRI platforms. All right, welcome back to TitleTown Throwdown. Again, a little preview of what we're going to see later on in the program, but not right now. We're going to transition over to some hockey greats. You should know these guys. You should love these guys. If not, then I don't know what the heck's wrong with you. Let's start off with Mr. Orr, Bobby Orr. Scores, and the Boston Bruins have won the Stanley Cup. That iconic flying picture of Bobby Orr. Whoever took that shot, oh my God, I don't know how the hell you got that shot. But one of the greatest moments ever in Boston Bruins history, the flying Stanley Cup winning goal over the St. Louis Blues in 1970. Bobby Orr, again, just a very lovable player here in Boston. Everyone loved him. Everyone still loves and respects him to this day. He played his heart out, left everything out on the ice for the Boston Bruins. He did not finish his career here with the Bruins. He finished it with the Chicago Blackhawks. His career was unfortunately cut short due to injuries, but for a guy who played defense the way he did, a nitty-gritty player, it's not surprising that your body broke down. But again, unfortunately, you never want to see a player have to end his career via an injury. Former Bruin Johnny Boychuk, he just ended his career earlier this week because of an eye injury that he suffered before the pause. So that's unfortunate as well. So that is unfortunate as well. But Bobby Orr, again, one of the all-time great Boston Bruin players in history. Number 4, his numbers up in the Raptors of TD Garden. The Bruins don't have as many numbers retired as the Celtics. The Bruins have a lot of numbers to play with, but they do have a good amount of numbers up there, guys who are very well deserving to have their numbers up there, and Bobby Orr is one of them. All right, another classic Bruin. You all know him. You all loved him so graciously. The captain, Ray Bourque, Boston Bruins, 1979 until 2000 when we traded him to the Colorado Avalanche. Again, another guy who just left it all out there. He left it all out. This guy, he wore the number 17, and then he switches it over to 77 out of respect for a player whose number is being retired. Whose number, the name of the player, I do not remember off the top of my head. It's probably because A, I'm just too young. And that's fair. I'm 25, almost 26. I'll admit it. I'm a young gun. But anyway, though, Ray Bourque, just a loved Boston Bruin. Like Bobby Orr, he left everything he had out on the ice. A career that spanned 22 years between the Boston Bruins and the Colorado Avalanche. And we finally saw Ray Bourque win the Stanley Cup in 2001, which ended up being his final season. And that's special. You go out with the bang. You're such a great player, all-star, award winners. The one thing he was missing, he finally got in Colorado. And it's unfortunate. He was on some pretty decent Boston Bruins teams in the 80s and the 90s. But the Bruins, they just simply could not get over that hump. And look, the Bruins, they did Bourque a favor and they did themselves a favor. They went in other directions that way they can rebuild and revamp themselves to get ready for a brand new Stanley Cup run with the new core. And they gave Ray Bourque a chance to go win the Stanley Cup with another team. That's exactly what Ray Bourque did, and then the Bruins did exactly what they set out to do as well. So that trade turned out to be a win-win for both sides, and Ray Bourque, he's still around the Boston Bruins to this day. Fan favorite, a city favorite. You can never go wrong if you see a number 77 t-shirt or a number 77 jersey. All right, another man. We all know this guy, goaltender Tim Thomas. We all know Tim Thomas. His career took a little while to get going. 2002, he was drafted by the Boston Bruins. He played in some games here and there, went to Europe for a while, came back in 2009, but he was always Boston Bruin property. He played out in Providence for a while as well. But Tim Thomas, though, he started to make a name for himself here in Boston around 2006, 2008, when he became the primary goaltender. And what did this guy do? Oh, all-star appearances, a Vezina trophy. Let's see. The Conn Smythe Award winner trophy. Oh, yeah, and also a Stanley Cup champion in 2011. The Bruins' most recent Stanley Cup. Probably shouldn't be their most recent Stanley Cup, but we know why. We know why they didn't win last season. That still bites us Bruins fans. But, forget about it. It's over. The Bruins are probably going to start going up with a new court soon anyway. Anyway, Tim Thomas, probably one of the more elite goaltenders of his time with the Bruins. His career here in Boston, it didn't end well. But hey, let's get that straight. It did not end well here for him in Boston. His career didn't really end well either. Rolled with injuries. His ego kind of got in the way a little bit. But Tim Thomas, so without Tim Thomas, without him standing on his head in the playoffs in 2011, you do not win that Stanley Cup. Claude would have been fired. The core probably would have been broken up a lot sooner. So guys like Char would have been out of here. Bergeron probably would have been out of here. Marchand might not be here. A lot of ifs. A lot of ifs. But those ifs never happened. We focused on here. Tim Thomas, one of the elite goaltenders of his time. Again, his time here in Boston, it didn't end well. Another man, Captain Zdeno Chara, signed here in 2006 after 4 seasons with the Ottawa Senators, a division rival. Comes here to Boston. 2020 is right now his final season here in Boston. Could he come back? It'd be nice if he came back. If he doesn't, Z, this is for you. Thank you for everything that you did for the Boston Bruins organization, your leadership, your physicality, and just your grit, and you're willing to accept another role. Your role changed with this team when guys like Charlie McAvoy came onto the scene, Brendan Carlo, Matt Grzelcyk. Your role had to change more into a mentorship type of role rather than being that number one shutdown defenseman that you were for the Bruins from the time you signed up to about maybe three seasons ago. You're not being asked to do that now. You're still being asked to be a mentor to these young guys, be a leader for the team, and really do anything you need to help this team win. So, Don Sweeney Canneely, please sign this man soon. Give that man a brand new contract. Easy. But if he does not come back, this man certainly deserves to win the sea. Alternate captain, Patrice Bergeron, Bruins, his entire career, 2003 all the way up till now. That the one exception season when the NHL had a lockout in 2004, 2005, but he was still Bruins property, and he was playing down in the AHL anyway, so he was fine. Bergeron still played with some type of Bruins team. But Patrice Bergeron, though, he's known for a lot. We all know that game-winning goal in 2013. We all know that game-winning goal he had in 2013 against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And this guy, consistent, 4-time Selke Award winner, 2-time All-Star, Stanley Cup champion. He's probably the best two-way forward there is. He plays great defense, and he can also put the puck in the back of the net. And Patrice Bergeron, again, another guy that I've grown up watching my entire life. Patrice Bergeron, he's just one of those players. Just one of those players in which you always gotta love. You love him, his leadership. And this is a guy in 2013. I don't think a lot of you guys knew this. This guy played with a lacerated lung, a couple ligament tears somewhere. This guy was just so beaten up in the 2013 playoffs, and he said, yeah, I'm going to play. Chara, last year, I want to go back to Chara quickly. Last year, broken jaw, had to get it wired shut, still goes on to play the final 3 games of the Stanley Cup final. Toughness. And that's something that when both of those guys' careers are said and done, Bruins fans are going to look back on and say, those guys were tough. They're tough as nails. All right. We're going to transition over now to the Patriots, and we're going to get to the Patriots stuff. The 2020 Patriots. We're going to get to the Patriots stuff in just a minute. First, I want to start off with this man, our head coach, Bill Belichick, an assistant head coach under Bill Parcells in 1996. Current head coach of the Patriots from 2000 all the way till now. And interesting thing about Bill Belichick, we all know Bill. We all know how Bill is. He is just one of these guys that is either A, Bill's just one of these guys that's either A, not talkative, it still is, B, doesn't want to reveal him too much into his game planning, and he thinks that he can put together a great team to win. And that's exactly what he did. Bill Belichick was the guy who made the tough decision to roll with Tom Brady in 2001 after Drew Bledsoe went down. He could have easily put Bledsoe back in after the time that Bledsoe missed with the injury. But no, he rolled with Brady. Bledsoe accepted the role. Tough pill for him to swallow at the time. I bet. I never know that feeling. But that'd be a tough feeling for Drew Bledsoe to swallow down. But Bledsoe held it with character. And Belichick, he was praised for that move. He was praised for allowing a guy like Tom Brady who was a 6th round draft pick. And look at the career Brady's had so far. And look at the coaching career that Bill Belichick's had. He's trying to chase down Don Shula for most wins all time by a head coach. That includes the playoffs in there. He's trying to track that down. Bill Belichick, he's won the Super Bowl so many times. I believe he's won it 2 or 3 times as an assistant and 6 times as a head coach. He's been to the Super Bowl multiple times too. So Bill Belichick, when it's all said and done, he is, and absolutely without a doubt will go down as the greatest head coach of all time. Now, his GM skills, again, he could go down as that too, but in the last 5 years, I don't know. I don't really trust Bill the GM these days. All right. Classic player, Andre Tippett, New England Patriot, from 1982 to 1983. He did miss a season due to a shoulder injury. Andre Tippett, though, a true Patriot, left it all out on the field. He put his heart, blood, sweat, and tears into the game. And look, he played in a time which the Patriots, they finally developed some good teams. He played in that Super Bowl with the Patriots back in 1986, where they got completely blown out by the Chicago Bears. Yeah, I don't think Super Bowl 20 is a Super Bowl that a lot of people want to talk about here. Then there's a couple other Super Bowls that we don't want to talk about here either. Two of them very recently. And Andre Tippett, though, I met this man back in 2010 when I was a sophomore in high school. I got his autograph. I have it here somewhere. Don't know where it is. But just a great, genuine player, Patriots Hall of Famer. Andre Tippett is just one of those guys in which you wanted on your team. He was that leader that the Patriots needed at that time. And if he were to play in today's game, he'd be the exact same leader that the Patriots need right now. So Andre Tippett, one of the great Patriot players of all time. All right, another great Patriot guy, again a legend, John Hanna. New England Patriots, 1973, 1985, spent his entire career here at the New England Patriots. Final season, got to the Super Bowl. Again, we know what happened, not explain it again. But he was one of the true good offensive linemen. Again, grit and not afraid to just stick his nose in another guy's face to open up a hole for his running back, give his quarterback time to throw the football. John Hanna, Patriots Hall of Famer. I believe he's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame as well. John Hanna, though, he was just your typical lineman. Just get down low, dirty, and just create a hole for your guys to be successful. Here's saying football is a team sport, and he was the guy who really got it done. He was really the beginning of what you see offensive lineman now is. A team guy, try to open up holes for your running back, give your quarterback time to throw the ball or extend the play. Just try to keep your quarterback upright and your running back, give him a good, clean lane so that way he can get to the second level of the defense. John Hanna, one of the great all-time Patriots. All right, a couple more before we get into the real Patriots and their situation right now. Ty Law, 1995 to 2004, drafted by this franchise. He did not finish his career here, but as Robert Kraft always says, once a Patriot, always a Patriot. We are all Patriots. And Ty Law, one of my personal all-time favorite players here for the Patriots. I just love the way he played defense. He always played right up in your face, man-to-man coverage. He was also great in zone coverage too. 3-time Super Bowl champion here in New England. He played in 2 of them. 2004, missed the rest of the year due to a knee injury. So his last season here in New England ended well, but did not end the way he wanted it to. He was forced onto the sideline. So that's that. Ty Law, though, just the way he played, shut down defense. He'll beat on the opposing guy's number 1 guy, shut him down. And Ty Law, he really set the tempo in that game for the Patriots, not only defensively, but offensively in Super Bowl 36 against the St. Louis Rams. When he picked off Kurt Warner and returned to the house, that really set the tempo that the Patriots were there to play, and they wanted to upset the Rams, and they did just that. All right, last guy here that we're going to talk about before we get into today's Patriots. They got some issues, and ironically enough, it's the guy who Patriot fans just simply can't get enough of talking about. We have a show dedicated to him up here for corn's sake. Tom Brady, drafted here in 2000. Last season was his final year. We all know his final game here did not end well. But let's just look back at Tom Brady, though, for a minute. A 6th-round pick, 7th quarterback taken in his draft class, ahead of a couple guys who just did not make it. Spurgeon went. How long did he last? Not very long. Spurgeon win, though. Some of you guys like, who? Who's he? But Tom Brady, though, 6th-round pick. No one really gave him a shot. No one think that he could play at the NFL level. Bill Belichick could have easily cut Tom Brady. And none of us would know who Brady is. Could have easily cut him. But he did not. All right, Tom Brady, 6th-round pick, 199th overall. Worked his butt off in the offseason of 2001. Won the backup job to Drew Bledsoe. We all know Bledsoe went down. Brady went in. And Brady took off and ran into the horses. And what did Tom Brady do? Oh, nothing special. Only 6 Super Bowls, 3 NFL MVPs, 14-time NFL Pro Bowler. Yeah, nothing special. Nothing special. Brady didn't do anything special here. He only got the Patriots to relevancy and got basically everyone in America to hate the New England Patriots. But, hey, at the time, we loved it. Last couple of seasons, Brady tailed off, where that was a combination of the weapons that he had no one really to throw to, or that was Bill trying to run him out of town, a whole slew of things. But Tom Brady, though, he's not going to end his career here in New England, unfortunately, but he is going to go down as the greatest Patriots quarterback in the history of the franchise that dates all the way back to 1960. And rightfully so. Tom Brady, without Tom Brady, you may not have the 6 Super Bowls. You may have gone to them, but would you have won them? That's the real question. Would you have won those Super Bowls? I don't know. Probably not. Probably not, because Tom Brady, he made a lot of careers. He made the career of Troy Brown. He made the career of Deion Branch. He had Randy Moss for a small time. Rob Gronkowski, one of the greatest tight ends in the NFL. Brady made the people around him better. Brady made the team around him better. What has Cam Newton done so far? Well, we're going to get to that right now. All right. So Cam Newton, he's had it rough. Fair to say. Cam has had it rough here in Boston. here in the Patriots in his one and only season. However, though, good news out of Cam Newton, though, he has not turned the ball over in the last 3 games. He hasn't thrown an interception in 4 weeks, which is great. So Cam Newton's done a very great job at taking care of the football. The offenses look better. They're able to move the ball down the field. Defense has been playing a little bit better here and there. But you got to ask yourself, if we're seeing all these improvements, why is this team 4-6? Why is this team 4-6? Short answer, I don't know. That's the short answer. I don't know. Now, look, is it possible that Tom Brady was a major influence here with the Patriots? Yes. Is Cam Newton finally starting to get a little bit of a tool with the offense? Yeah. And look, the Patriots aren't dead in the water yet. They're not dead in the water. But their road is extremely hard right now. Now, they may catch a break this weekend. The Ravens are playing the Steelers. They may be without Lamar Jackson, who just tested positive for COVID-19. The Ravens are having an outbreak issue. They're supposed to play tonight against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but that game got moved to Sunday. But now we're not even sure that game's going to get played. But if you're the NFL, you don't want to cancel a division matchup. You cannot do that. You cannot cancel a division matchup. You can't. You got to play that game one way or another. So, but anyway, though, for the Patriots this week, let's look at the pros and cons of this week. A win, you stay in the thick of the AFC playoff picture, and your tiebreakers could look a lot better if teams like the Ravens lose, the Raiders lose, the Dolphins magically lose to the Jets, which I don't think is going to happen. But you need to beat the Arizona Cardinals, and the Cardinals are a tough customer. They had a great game against the Buffalo Bills a couple weeks ago. They played a very tough game against the Seattle Seahawks last Thursday night. So for the Patriots, you're between a rock and a hard place. The rock that is the one that you need to move to get on a run and still try to make the playoffs at 10-6. That's the best you can do when your final 6 games go to the playoffs. The hard place is trying to get out of the rut that you're in. And it's late in games now for the Patriots that they're having a hard time moving the football. Early in the game, the Patriots are moving the football methodically down the field. But if you've seen in the last couple of weeks, the Ravens game and last week against the Texans, fourth quarter comes along, the Patriots are suddenly having a hard time moving the football. Now, whether that comes down to execution or the play calling by Josh McDaniels, who knows? Who knows? What I do know is that. What I do know is this. If you're the New England Patriots, you need to find a way to shut down Kyler Murray, win this weekend, and keep yourselves alive in the playoff picture. Because if you lose against the Cardinals, not only do your playoff chances take another hit, but then you're going to need to win your final 5 games and literally pray for a miracle that teams in front of you like the Titans, Colts, Browns, Ravens, Dolphins, and Raiders all find a way to just completely crap themselves in order for you to make a way to the playoffs. Because realistically, 2 more losses, the season is over. All right, your schedule is this: you got the Cardinals this week at Gillette Stadium. Then you go to LA to play the Chargers. Then you go to play the Rams on a Thursday night. And then you got the Dolphins, Bills, and Jets. The Jets schedule is pretty favorable. So your schedule is still pretty tough. You got 4 tough games of your last 6. The only 2 games that are extremely winnable and games that you should win is next week against the Chargers and week 17 against the Jets. There's wins numbers 5 and 6 right now. There's wins numbers 5 and 6. You need to win against the Cardinals. You need to beat the Rams. You have to beat the Rams. That's the only way you're going to really salvage anything. You got to beat the Dolphins in Miami, and you don't typically play well down there. You got to beat the Bills, a game that you should have won. Let's be honest. Should have won that one. And then again, the Jets. You nearly lost to the damn Jets. And the Jets are pitiful. So what do the Patriots need to do this Sunday? The Patriots need to move the ball consistently and effectively, and do not leave points out on the field. You can't always settle for field goals. Got to get it to the end zone. The benefit for the Patriots is that Cam Newton looks a lot more comfortable in the pocket. He looks comfortable throwing the ball now, and he's comfortable throwing to these guys, and etc. All right. Play of the week. This came from week 11. Cowboys, Vikings, late in the game. Rookie CeeDee Lamb made an outstanding catch against the Vikings defense. Take a look.
Second and goal. Dolph looking end zone. He throws. What a catch! CeeDee Lamb for a Cowboys touchdown. Kenny, I don't know if fans recognize how hard of a catch that was. Wow, looking over his left shoulder, gets it down. That's a touchdown. Going to the ground, gathers it in initially with one hand. A spectacular catch by the rookie out of Oklahoma. Man, that was awesome. Looking like Adam Thielen from the other side, right? CeeDee Lamb has to adjust. I can't describe how hard it is to look over one shoulder, then fall back with one hand to corral that ball for the touchdown.
An outstanding catch by CeeDee Lamb. And it's just a great all around play by CeeDee Lamb. My top play of the 2020 NFL Week 11. All right, when we come back, NFL game picks. 2 games have already happened. That's fine. We're still going to get them. But right now, here is a break in the Roadie Sports Show podcast. All right, welcome back to TitleTown Throwdown. The final segment here is a great show. We talked about a lot of legends. The Patriots needed to win this week. I really do hope you all enjoyed it. It's the meaning of thanks, and it's the season of giving. We're going to have another show similar to this on Christmas Eve night, so look for that in about a month. But anyway, though, let's wrap up the show here. NFL Week 12 game picks. You can see the games scrolling around the bottom of your screen. 2 finals already. The Texans over the Detroit Lions, 41-25, and the Washington football team right now are in first place in the NFC East with a 41-16 win over the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys season, and by the way, people virtually done. They fumbled on the first play of the second half. So, that's the Dallas Cowboys for you. All right, let's get it going here. The Arizona Cardinals visit the New England Patriots here at Gillette Stadium Sunday at 1 o'clock. I'm going to go the Patriots in this one because it's a game that they need. I think the way that they are playing right now on offense, they have a chance to really torch that Cardinals secondary. They've been torched the last couple of weeks between the Bills and the Seahawks. There's a plan there, but you gotta stop Kyler Murray. But I'm going to go to the Patriots by 3. All right, the 6-4 Dolphins take on the 0-10 Jets. Miami's won 5 of the last 6 games over the Jets. That trend continues. I got the Dolphins in this one over the Jets. Dolphins improve to 7-4, and the Jets fall deeper and deeper and deeper into the abyss of a team that they are called, and go to 0-11. Trevor Lawrence, if you get drafted by the Jets, I'm sorry. All right, the 4-7 Carolina Panthers take on the 4-6 Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota's won 2 of the last 3 games against these two teams. Minnesota's been playing really well. Tough loss against the Cowboys. And can you imagine that they lost to the Cowboys the way Dallas played today? Oh, God. Gag me with a spoon. I don't know the Minnesota Vikings here. I think they rebound. PJ Walker, he struggles this game. If Ted Bridgewater cannot go, Vikings prove to 5-6. Panthers fall to 4-8. All right, let's go rapid fire here. The 7-3 Browns take on the 1-9 Jaguars. The Browns have allowed 13.3 points per game since week 8. That is the second fewest in the NFL. It's the Jaguars. Easy win for the Browns. Cleveland goes to 8-3. Jaguars fall to 1-10 and will be mathematically officially eliminated from playoff contention. The 7-3 Titans take on the 7-3 Indianapolis Colts. A battle for first place in the AFC South once again between these two teams. Colts coming off a huge win over the Packers. Titans coming off a huge win over the Ravens. This is going to be a tight game. I think Tennessee gets the revenge after a couple weeks going Thursday Night Football. Tennessee improves to 8-3. Colts fall to 7-4. The 3-7 Giants take on the 2-7-1 Joe Burrow-less Bengals. The Giants are 0-5 this season against non-NFC East opponents. I think that changes. Without Joe Burrow helping them out, the Bengals are really a show of themselves. So Giants improve to 4-7. Bengals fall to 2-8-1. The 3-7 Chargers take on the 7-3 Buffalo Bills. Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs ranked first and second in receptions this season. That continues. The Chargers, they just have a hard time really closing games away and keeping teams out of the end zone. Bills improve to 8-3. Chargers fall to 3-8. The 6-4 Raiders visit the 3-7 Atlanta Falcons. Raiders played a really tough game last week against the Chiefs. The Falcons, they're competing. They're staying in there. I'm going to go the Raiders in this one. Raiders prove to 7-4. Falcons fall to 3-8. The 6-4 Ravens take on the 10-0 Pittsburgh Steelers, a game that was supposed to be played tonight, but got moved due to COVID. This game's still in flux, but that game will be seen on NBC as it was supposed to be tonight. Pittsburgh has allowed the fewest points in the league with 17.4 points per game. These two teams battled out a couple of weeks ago in Baltimore. Pittsburgh coming out the other end. Pittsburgh comes out of this end again. Steelers go to 11-0. Ravens fall to 6-5, especially with Lamar Jackson. All right, late game window. Let's get through this rapid fire. 4-6 Niners take on the 7-3 Rams. Rams played a great game Monday Night Football over Brady and the Bucks. I'm going to know the Rams in this one. Rams go to 8-3. Niners fall to 4-6. The 8-2 Saints visit the 4-6 Broncos. New Orleans has allowed 14.4 points per game since week 6, the fewest in the NFL. The Broncos, they've been playing some pretty decent football, but I like the Saints in this one. Saints go to 9-2. Broncos fall to 4-6. All right. Sunday Night Football, the Patriots and the Bears. The Bears, they are 2 and here's the thing. Since Nick Foles took over, the Bears are 2-5 under Nick Foles. Mitchell Trubisky, he got benched in week 3, but it's been out due to a shoulder injury. Trubisky could possibly start this week. He's had a week to relax. So Mitchell Trubisky took at the start. Should bode well for him and the Bears' confidence. The Patriots is 17-4 all-time against the Bears since 2010, including the playoffs. I like the Patriots in this one. Patriots maintain their lead in the NFC North. They win. They improve to 8-3, and the Bears fall below 500 at 5-2. Sunday Night Football, Monday Night. Another Sunday game. I forgot to let this out, but this is one of the games of the day. 9-1 Chiefs against the 7-4 Buccaneers. The Buccaneers, they played great offensively, but defensively, they are just having such a hard time stopping people. The Chiefs, they're just a wagon right now. I'm going to go to the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs go to 10-1. Bucks fall to 7-5 and really put themselves in a hole. All right. Wrap it all up finally. Monday Night Football, the 7-3 Seahawks take on the 3-6-1 Eagles. Seattle's 2-3 on the road this season. They're 5-0 at home. But I think they get to even strength on the road this week. Eagles. Carson Wentz, he leads the league in turnovers. 14 picks, 9 fumbles, 23 turnovers. Thank you very much, Carson Wentz. Thank you for just ruining the Eagles season. Seattle goes to 8-3, and Philly falls to 3-7-1, and that wraps up TitleTown Throwdown. We went a little over, but that is okay. I'll be back next week, regular time, 7 p.m. But thank you so much for joining me for this special new Thanksgiving Day edition of TitleTown Throwdown. Once again, I am your host, Nick LeBlanc, and I really hope you all have a splendid rest of your night. Happy Thanksgiving and all. And if you do go Black Friday shopping tomorrow, please don't trample people. All right. Talk to you all later.